Hello, my name is Jo and I am just about to disembark from my very first cruise and it's a Virgin Voyages cruise on board a Valiant Lady. So I just wanted to talk about my experiences just as I have my last little wander around the top of the ship. And also just to let you know about what it was like for me as a first time cruiser and also what the Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady is really like. So I've just spent 3 days on the ship, well 3 nights, so 4 days on the ship. We went to Bruges for a day, but most of the time we were at sea. So I've spent quite a bit of time on the ship, so I can tell you quite a lot about what it was really like. So hopefully you can hear me over the music. I'm going to try and stay away from the music if I can. But plus points. So the food was brilliant. So the food and Virgin Voyages ships is all inclusive. They're the odd thing that you can pay extra for. If you're the sort of person who's going to want lobster and oysters and caviar and all of those things, then you're probably going to pay a little bit extra. But for the most part, the food at all of the restaurants is available and included in the price. So you don't pay anything extra once you've paid your price. There's no, what do they call them? Specialty dining, that's it, that's what they call it on some other cruise ships. So there's no specialty dining, it's all included, and there's such a lovely variety. There's an Italian restaurant, there's a steak restaurant, there's a Korean restaurant, there are so many. I think there are 20 eateries on the ship. So what did I think of them? I loved them actually. I was really impressed. I'm just going to sit down for a little bit. It's a bit quieter here. So yeah, I was really impressed. I'm celiac, which means that I have to follow a gluten-free diet, and I was catered for really well. So I was really impressed with that. Not only at the restaurants, but also at what they call the galley, which is essentially like the buffet, but there's lots of different concessionary stands. It's table service as well, which I believe is a little bit different to other ships. And that's great because you can just go there whenever. There's always something available. Some of them are 24/7, I believe. I never went when there wasn't things open, but there was occasional times where there weren't any cakes or there weren't the taco stands. So they do have some closing hours, but in general you can always go and get some food there. And I love that it's just really quick and easy. You do need to book for most of the restaurants. This ship was fairly full, I believe. So it wasn't that easy to book a restaurant. And of course, to book a restaurant, you're talking, you know, some of those experiences, they're amazing experiences, but they're like up to 2 hours. So if you just want some quick food, the galley is absolutely brilliant. Drinks are also included, although not alcoholic drinks. I'm not a big drinker, so that wasn't an issue for me at all. And we got a glass of free bubbly on the first night. But all the soft drinks, and there's also juices, they're all included in the price as well, which I think is really nice. What else was good? The spa. Oh, the spa was amazing. I went in the spa last night. It was a 4-hour slot in the evening, although I went for dinner during that slot as well, so I only had about 2 hours in the spa. It was $39, so it is an extra cost, but you get 3 or 4 hours depending on which slot you choose, and it was just amazing. It's a lovely, tranquil space, as you would imagine. It has all the basics. It has a sauna, it has a steam room, it has a salt room as well, which is really nice. But what I loved about it was being able to sit in a porthole, watching the world go by, looking out at the sea, looking at other boats. Obviously, if you're going past land, you'll see land as well. Whilst you're in the sauna or the steam room or sitting reading a book, it was incredible. It was an out of the world experience, and I would absolutely recommend it. For $39, I think it's a really good price. The treatments are quite expensive. So for example, if I'd have had a deep tissue massage, which I was tempted by, it would have been $185, I believe, which I think is quite expensive. So I didn't do that, but the spa itself, you also get a mud treatment as part of the spa. You get a little tub with mud treatment that you can do whilst you're in there. It's just a really nice place to chill out. There's some really nice, there's plunge pools. There's not a hot tub. I think that's a bit of a shame. There's like a warm tub, but it doesn't have bubbles. So there's no sort of like jacuzzi. There are some hot tubs up on the deck just below me, but I didn't use those. But yeah, the spa it's just a lovely experience. It's really nice to do that whilst you're at sea. I also love the shows, so I went to 2 shows, one on the first night, one on the second night, and I really enjoyed the shows. I've heard from others, they say they're a little bit disappointed with the entertainment because there isn't as much variety, and some people weren't able to get in because it was fully booked, which is a little bit of a shame, but I did manage to go to 2 shows and I really enjoyed both of them. I won't share too much about them, but one was called Never Sleep Alone and one was called Dual Reality. I really enjoyed them. The other things that I really liked were also the exercise classes, although I'm really aching. But I did a bungee class and I did a core class, and I also did a foam roller class. They're again all included in the price, and I really enjoyed those, and also got to meet some people who were, you know, also interested in keeping themselves fit and healthy, so that was quite nice to meet other people who also like to exercise even when they're away. Yeah, really friendly instructors and some interesting exercises, and like I say, something a bit different with the bungee class, which was really good fun, but I am super achy now. I really like the bands, so these bands are your room access. They're how you pay for everything, they're how you are identified, so when you come on and off the ship, that's how you do things, to make sure that you get into your reservations. It's all done by the band, and I really like that. It's a wearable item, so I just put it on and that was it. There's no having to remember to carry things round. I know a lot of cruises have like key cards. I don't always have pockets, so this is really practical, and I really like that, and it worked flawlessly. The other thing that I really liked, it's a small thing, but I loved the shower. The shower was amazing. For anybody who has long hair, you'll understand when you have a shower that just trickles, it's so disappointing, and the showers in the cabins were incredible. Really good. You also get the shampoo, conditioner and body wash included, and it's really nice. It smells really nice, works really well, so that was fantastic. I wouldn't bother bringing toiletries for the shower with me if I cruised with Virgin again, and I'd know that the shower was going to be great, so that was really good bonus. Now, talking about the cabins, there are some downsides. I actually had to move cabins during my stay. I was over the Manor, which is the nightclub, and my cabin was directly above it. So on the first night I realised this as I could hear the music. Not only could I hear the music, but I could feel the vibrations, and not only could I hear the music, I could actually tell what songs that they were. It was really noisy. I'm not someone who generally is bothered by that too much. I can tend to, once I'm asleep I'm fine, but it was not good on the first night. So I called Sailor Services and asked if I could have some earplugs. Unfortunately the shops were shut and they said they didn't have any. So they said the noise should quieten down by about 1 a.m, so you should be okay. That's what happened, and that's what happened on the first night. Now for the second night I knew that it was going to go on until 4 a.m, and I wanted to get some sleep. I wasn't too impressed with that. Some people who are over the Manor say, oh, why don't you just go and join the fun? I don't want to be up till 4 a.m. I wanted to go out to Bruges the next day, so I asked if I could move cabins, because that's what they'd said. They said if it's too bad then we'll move you to a different place. So I've moved cabins. The process was okay. It took over 2 hours, which was a little bit frustrating. There was some technical problems with my band, so I didn't have a band for a while, which was a little bit unsettling. And it did take a really long time. And then when I got to my new room, the door lock didn't work, the tablet didn't work, which controls your lights and heating and things like that. So it wasn't a great experience, I'm going to be honest. However, the staff were fantastic. They were really helpful, and I did get moved to a different cabin and slept much better. So mixed on that front. The cabins themselves, so I was in a solo insider cabin. It was great. It was, you know, from what I can tell, a fairly standard solo cabin, not the smallest, not the biggest, but it served its purpose. I was just in there to sleep and relax every now and again, so it was great. Now, as mentioned, I was in a solo insider. I'm cruising on my own, and there's quite a few of us who are cruising solo. There are lots of solo cabins, and there's quite a few people who choose to cruise on their own. Most providers have solo meets, so that people who are travelling on their own can meet other people in case you want to do something with somebody else. For example, I would have really quite liked to play board games on this trip. The timings never aligned, and I didn't know people around who would be able to play board games with me. So it would be nice to meet some other people, not as like there was a dating session, but that's not what we want. What we want is to meet other people who are cruising on their own who we might want to go for a dinner with, or we might want to meet up with, or just chat to, because cruising solo is a slightly different experience to cruising with friends or family, or a partner or something like that. So it would be quite nice if they had solo meets. It doesn't take much, just put it on the schedule, set a time, set a space, and we'll all turn up. So that would have been a nice addition that isn't on Virgin and is on some of the ships. The app was also not great. It didn't work a lot of the time. There's been a lot of complaints about it. The booking system, you're supposed to do everything through the app, and it just sort of kept timing out and glitching. So there was one time where I really struggled to get to my class because I couldn't get onto the app to find out what location it was in. So that was a little bit frustrating. There's been quite a few issues with the app, and also the Wi-Fi is super slow. It's there, you can use things like WhatsApp, but try and send a photo or receive a photo, not great. So the Wi-Fi is very basic, but it works for just basic communication. And yeah, that was about it really. Mostly positive. You know, I spent most of this talking about the positives. Would I cruise as a whole again? This is my first cruise. Yes, absolutely. Would I cruise with Virgin again? Probably. I'd like to try some different cruise providers, and I am cruising soon with Royal Caribbean. I think Virgin, who is Virgin for? This is kind of why I wanted to do this review, to share my experiences, but also talk about who is it really for. I spoke to a lot of people on this cruise who were here without their children. It's adults only, and for many of them it's rare that they get time without their kids. So, you know, a group of friends or a couple, you know, who are coming out without their kids, to have that child-free time is a real luxury for them. So I think a lot of people are really appreciating that. I think also it's really good for parties. Last night I was grouped with 4 women who were travelling because it was someone's 40th birthday, and so they were celebrating by coming on a cruise, and I think it works really well for that. Groups of friends, you know, who want to come, people who want to party. You know, it is a nightclub until 4 a.m. There's lots of people drinking and dancing. There's a casino and things like that. So the nightlife is pretty decent if you're the sort of person. I'm not the sort of person who drinks and dances all night long. I'd rather sit up chatting and playing a board game. But if you are the sort of person who really enjoys that environment, then I think a Virgin cruise would be really good for you. And yeah, I mean, anyone really who's up for a bit of fun, even though it's adults only, there's a lot of fun things on here. There's swings, there's a seesaw, like I say, there's the exercise classes, there's trivia, there's lots of different things going on, but I believe it's not quite as packed a schedule as some ships. But I really enjoyed it. I'm sure I will cruise with Virgin again if the price is right and the location is right. And I did enjoy the ship. I can imagine myself spending probably like a week on this ship, and being quite happy because there's enough variety of different places to eat and different things to do. So yeah, a big thumbs up. Some slight things that might need to be ironed out, especially around the cabins and the app and the Wi-Fi, but also some really good things that I enjoyed. So thank you, Virgin, and I hope you found this review useful if you are considering cruising with Virgin, or if you are about to cruise with Virgin. I hope you have a great time. So I've been Jo, talking about Valiant Lady and my experience on this Virgin Voyages cruise to Bruges, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.